So, check mark on the cannabis. Already had some coffee. Question is, what are you doing? How about this first episode of Cannabis and Coffee Unedited? It's Thanksgiving. In the traditional world, it's Thanksgiving. Fortunately for me, I stepped out of the traditional world a few years ago. I've actually been living my own way for 19 months now, living off grid here at the village, doing it my way. It's fucking amazing. There have been tons of hardships. There have been so many hardships. There have been so many things that have been a struggle, that have been tough. But it's the best life I've ever lived. It's the best living I've ever experienced with all those hardships. I mean, we hand wash our laundry. We have water from a well. Sorry, it's cold here, so it makes me like cold sweat, cold hot. Have my blanket. But anyways, we've been through a lot. But today being Thanksgiving, it brings up a lot for me. It brings up so much for me. Because I grew up being very family oriented. I grew up loving family, loving the idea of family, loving the concept of family, thinking that having a tribe and a village of people to help you do life was an awesome idea. You know, I was in love with my dad. He was dad. I knew he was fucked up. I knew he had problems. I knew he couldn't see some of his problems. I knew that he didn't know how to lead us at times, or what the next best thing for us was. There was a bunch of us, there were 6 of us, and we were poor, and we suffered a lot, and my dad was a dick, but I loved him. I loved him a lot because he was charismatic, and he was sweet, and he was caring, but he could be a real dick. I mean, he really could, and he did things to us kids that fucked me up for a long time. But we always went for Thanksgiving. We'd usually go to somebody's house, my aunt and uncle, Tom and Sandy. I loved doing that. It was so fun. We didn't really ever go much to my aunt and uncle, Kent and Michelle. We went there a few times, but not like all the time, I remember more as a kid being at my grandparents' house. That's where I remember most of our holidays, most of our gatherings was at my grandparents'. And I don't really think we had a ton of them either. I know there were a bunch, but I don't believe, now living the way that I live now with my own family and my own kids and whatnot, I don't believe that we got together really all that often. But I sure as fuck looked forward to it, man. I looked forward to it so much. The idea of having people that you were just experiencing life with, and like I said, I could see all the fucked up layers we all had, but I was okay with it. But the Thanksgiving thing was always a big deal, and holidays were a big deal, and it was because of the idea that was said of what they were. Everybody got together, everybody told stories about their life and what was going on and what they'd been up to and how they were, and life changes that had happened, and what the new jobs were, or new careers, or sicknesses, or how health was going. And I remember that a lot. People getting together and just bitching and moaning about stuff, like, well, just my luck this, or just my luck that, and it's like, it wasn't always that, but I do remember that because then I grew up with my own brothers doing that, I got 3 brothers, and all 4 of us would sit around and be like, this and that. I mean, we would have like bitch sessions about our parents and our life and shit in our life because it was just not fun, and so I think it was that way for a lot of people, though. I don't think we were like super unique. I think we were kind of unique in some of the shit we went through. I mean, we experienced a cult, we experienced crazy parenting, we experienced being poor, we experienced trauma on all different levels, sexual abuse, parents having, like inappropriate relationships, job after job after job after job. No, we moved like 18 times by the time I was like 15. I think that's the number, like 18 times before I was 15 fucking years old, man. And then I had a baby. I got pregnant at 15, so it's crazy. I haven't moved 18 times since. And I'm 43. So, I mean, some math, some wires were crossed. And I know that sounds like I'm just bashing on my youth, and I'm not, because I really grew up wanting to have family and these people and my brothers and my aunts and uncles and all that. But I started going like, what is the problem here? Because this isn't fun. You know, it isn't fun. And then when I got pregnant at 15, like totally shockingly pregnant at 15, it wasn't like I was out there like walking the streets. And then it's like, well, what do you expect, dummy? No, it was like, I barely even did the thing. I barely even did the deed. And I got, what? Yeah, what? I was supporting a friend. I was taking a pregnancy test with a friend. And so I was being a good friend is what I thought. And she's like, oh, come with me, please. Oh, okay. And then it was a double pack. And then it's like, I'm not pregnant, thank God, is what she says, you know. And she's like, what's yours? And I'm like, motherfucker, what? My parents are going to kill me. That's all I thought. My parents are going to kill me. I didn't think, oh, I need to have an abortion. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Oh my God. No, I was just like, my parents are going to kill me because I knew I could take care of a baby. I love babies. I'd been babysitting for fucking ever. I mean, if somebody had given me their baby at any point at that point in life, I probably would have been like, yeah. Except maybe not, because I was so prejudiced about so many fucking things. I'd have been like, I don't know. So anyway, this is getting long. However, I wanted family. I was willing to go the mile. I was willing to be a do or die for family. But I started looking at our choices. I started looking at how we parented. I started looking at all this stuff, and it just didn't make fucking sense to me. So I started doing it my own way, and that kind of started separating the waters. And I know, you know, even throughout my life, there's been people in my own family where they're like, don't be like Cheryl. Don't be like Cheryl and get pregnant, you know, when you're a teenager, and then get married and divorced, and then get married again and have more babies. Don't be like Cheryl. And I was like, I get it now, man. Don't be like Cheryl. That's a rough fucking road to walk that Cheryl's walked. So that's why I'm here. Because now my eyes are wide fucking open, and I can tell you, that's a rough road, but I can tell you why. And it's not the babies. It's not the love. It's not the men or the people. It's not the parents. It's not the religions. Well, kind of. It's not the, you know, other stuff. It's not the shopping. It's not the addictions. And there's a shit ton. I can tell you about a shit ton of addictions that I've dealt with myself personally, or that I've experienced through someone that I love. And it's fucking painful. However, I'm going to tell you about it. So, I'm getting sidetracked. I got a million things. But anyway, it's like the universal downloads. We were talking that yesterday, you know, where I've had people, this guru wave that's been going on where they're like, universal download. I got a universal download today, and this and that. And I'm just like, what? So, no, it's because I'm tapped in. I'm aligned. I'm focused. I'm zoned in. I'm feeling good. My partner is showing the fuck up. We're going to celebrate our 22nd anniversary this December. 22 fucking years we've been married. We're like two dummies getting together. Like, hey, I like the way you look, and I like the way you look. And we got this thing between us, this energy. And he liked my kid. And I mean, I was over and over like, hey, I got a kid. But he liked my kid. And so I was like, oh, damn. And he had a steady job, and not like, you know, Walmart greeter job. He like had a steady job. A like successful driven job. And I'm not saying anything against Walmart greeters. I'm just saying with me, my kid, and wanting to have more kids, that wasn't going to work. Not for the standards I had for things with my, you know, my judgments and my it's a fucking word. Okay, I can't think of it. But, you know, my layers of bullshit. I don't have that now. I can see things for what they are and how they work out. Like, well, okay, if that's your job and that's what you intend to do and you like it and that's not, I mean, that might be tough to support a whole bunch of kids. So I wanted a bunch of kids. I wanted a big family. I knew I needed a career driven or a entrepreneur driven or a motivated partner. And so, yeah. So, stories. Anyways, the intro to this, family, it fucking matters. It counts. It's why we all get excited about that first kiss. It's why we get the butterflies about that person. It's why we stay up all night and we can't stop thinking about them. You know? It's why you can't wait to have your baby and hold them, and why you smell them and they smell so good. Love matters, and it's at everything. It's in everything. It's in everything. 22 fucking years. So, if your holidays suck, which mine started sucking, because I was like, okay, so I'm not there, but when we show up, everybody's busy. It wasn't the people that sucked. It wasn't the things. It was the way shit was working out. It was our choices. It was how we were choosing. I started choosing different. It separated the road. Then it starts raising eyebrows. You know, I have you guys send me messages and you're like, raise my eyebrows sometimes, or some of the shit you say is, you know, kind of provocative, or it's, you know, this, or it's controversial. And it's like, well, yeah, I'm sure it is, because we don't like to talk about real shit. And it's because we've been program conditioned. If you read my content here lately, I have a lot of that talk in there about the program conditioning going on. So it's real, it's alive, and I'm going to talk about it. But these days, like Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, they're all based around a triangle of things, a triangle of beliefs that if you participate in heavily, you've bought into. I used to, man. If you knew me 8 years ago, you're like, what the fuck happened to Cheryl? Because, look, I keep getting that. You'd be like, what happened to Cheryl? And you know this, because I've always been that one, you know, motivated energy. Like, let's do this. But you're like, but she like, duh, Christmas time. She was all into all that holiday shit. She was like, what? I mean, I had the big ass house on the corner of the block with all the lights. And so, no. I had that, like, I never bought in, but I bought in. So I was like, and now I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like, now I'm doing what I want to do. And you should see this place at night. It looks like Santa's workshop. There's about a zillion lights. And they come on every night, and I don't have to pay for them. They're solar. The sun charges all of them independently, all on their own. They come on and go off. So, it used to be a hard knock life for us. Now it's badass. So, think about your holidays and why you do what you do and what you do every day and why you're doing it. Because I guarantee you there's a reason. Even if you're not aware exactly of what that is. And maybe that's why you feel like, gotta go suffer through the family. But it's not the family. It's the choices. Peace. Love. Have an awesome day. Join me on Cannabis and Coffee, baby.